Before Alex Eala even walked into Glorietta, Manila was already acting like match point had arrived. Phones were out, group chats were blowing up, and Filipino tennis fans were scrambling for one-on-one with the young star who had just carried the Philippine flag deeper into Wimbledon than any Filipino singles player before her. The reaction was so intense that people quickly started calling the fan meet sold out. But here's the wild part. The event didn't even have regular public tickets for sale. Access was limited, invitations were controlled, and the few available ways into the venue suddenly became some of the hottest passes in the city. This wasn't just another mall appearance. It felt like Manila was getting ready to welcome home a national sports hero. Globe Telecom officially announced the Alex Eala Fan Meet experience for July 15, 2026 at the Glorietta Activity Center in Makati. Registration was scheduled to begin at 4 p.m., with the main event taking place later that evening. Globe's official event page promised an on-stage interview, interactive games, meet-and-greet moments, and other activities, giving supporters a rare opportunity to see Alex away from the pressure of a professional tennis court. The official event window was listed from 6:30 p.m. until 8 p.m., turning one of Manila's busiest shopping centers into the center of the Filipino tennis universe for the night. But getting inside was never going to be as simple as clicking Buy Now. Globe made it clear that tickets were not available for normal purchase. Fans needed an official invitation or had to qualify through specific Globe promotions. One opportunity involved purchasing from Loop at the Globe booth during the event, with 2 VIP seats available to each of the first 5 validated customers. Another way to qualify was through a successful G-Plan Junior application. That limited setup explains why excitement turned into a frenzy so quickly. When access is scarce and the athlete at the center of the event is Alex Eala, every available spot suddenly feels like a championship ticket. Lastly, can anyone blame the fans? Alex was coming home after a breakthrough Wimbledon run that completely changed the conversation around Philippine tennis. She defeated defending champion Iga Swiatek and advanced to the round of 16 before her run ended against Italy's Jasmine Paolini. By reaching the 4th round, Alex earned 240 WTA ranking points and £300,000 in prize money, approximately $396,100 at the reported exchange rate. Those numbers were impressive, but they didn't fully explain the emotion back home. For Filipino supporters, this was bigger than prize money and ranking points. They had watched one of their own walk onto tennis's most famous grass courts and compete without fear against some of the best players in the world. Why the Glorietta fan meet carried the energy of a full-blown homecoming celebration rather than a routine sponsor appearance. Alex wasn't returning as an unknown prospect hoping people would notice her. She was coming back as a player who had created a genuine moment in international sports. Her Wimbledon performance followed an outstanding grass court stretch that included winning the WTA 125 title in Birmingham and reaching the semifinals in Berlin. Every result added another layer to her story. Every victory gave young Filipino athletes another reason to believe that the biggest stages in tennis were no longer completely out of reach. And the frenzy of the reaction also showed how quickly Alex's connection with the public had grown. Tennis has long competed with basketball, boxing, volleyball, and other major sports for attention in the Philippines. Yet Alex has managed to make tournament draws, ranking points, grass court results, and late-night international matches feel like national events. Fans who might not have followed the WTA Tour closely before were suddenly learning the names of her opponents, tracking her ranking, and discussing her next tournament. The Glorietta gathering became proof that her success was creating more than headlines. It was building a real community. There's also something deeply personal about Alex's rise. She represents the Philippines on the global stage, but her journey has required years of sacrifice, travel, training, and pressure far away from home. Professional tennis can be lonely. Players move from country to country, adjust to different surfaces, live out of suitcases, and deal with victories and defeats in front of the entire world. A homecoming event gives an athlete something the tour can't always provide: the chance to stop, look around, and see exactly who has been cheering from thousands of miles away. Just imagine what that moment must feel like. One week, you're standing across the net from a Grand Slam champion under the bright lights of Wimbledon. Soon afterward, you're back in Makati, surrounded by supporters waving Philippine flags, holding handmade signs, wearing shirts with your name, and hoping for one quick picture or a few seconds of conversation. That kind of welcome hits differently. It reminds an athlete that every difficult practice, every long flight, every heartbreaking loss, and every hard-fought comeback has reached people far beyond the scoreboard. The hype surrounding the event also reveals why brands and organizers now see Alex as more than a rising tennis player. She has become a symbol of possibility. She's young enough for children to see themselves in her, accomplished enough to command worldwide respect, and grounded enough to remain relatable to supporters back home. That combination is rare.
Fans aren't simply watching to see whether she wins her next match. They're following the entire journey, celebrating every milestone, and treating every return to the Philippines like a shared victory. Still, accuracy matters. Calling the Glorietta event a traditional sellout isn't quite correct, because Globe stated that ordinary tickets weren't being sold. The more accurate way to describe the situation is that limited access became extremely valuable almost immediately. Fans wanted in, the announcement spread quickly across social media, and the restricted nature of the event made every invitation feel even more special. That truth is exciting enough by itself. There's no need to exaggerate the crowd size or pretend the celebration happened before Alex even arrived. The real story is that demand for a Filipino tennis fan meet reached a level few people would have imagined just a few years ago. And the timing couldn't have been better. Alex was closing one chapter of her season and getting ready for the next. After the grass court swing, attention would soon shift toward the hard courts and the build-up to the US Open. That meant the Glorietta appearance was more than a celebration of what she had already accomplished. It was also a send-off. Fans had the opportunity to remind her that when she returned to competition overseas, she wouldn't be playing alone. Every cheer inside that mall represented countless supporters following from Manila, Cebu, Davao, and Filipino communities throughout the United States and around the world. For American viewers, the easiest comparison might be a young breakout star returning home after an unforgettable March Madness run, an Olympic medal, or an unexpected charge through the US Open. The venue doesn't have to be a stadium for the emotion to feel massive. Sometimes a mall atrium, packed balconies, handmade signs, and supporters leaning over every available railing can create a scene that feels even more intimate. The distance between the athlete and the public disappears. Instead of watching through a television or phone screen, fans get to see the real person behind the highlights. That human connection is what makes fan meets matter. Alex's story has been told through rankings, trophies, prize money, and historic firsts, but supporters also want to hear her laugh, listen to her describe the biggest moments, and watch how she reacts when an entire room cheers her name. The onstage interview and interactive games were designed to show that side of her. For one evening, the focus wouldn't be on breakpoints, unforced errors, or the identity of her next opponent. It would be about gratitude, pride, and the growing bond between Alex and the people who have claimed every victory as their own. The atmosphere surrounding Glorietta also sends a powerful message to the international sports world. The Philippines isn't simply watching Alex Eala from a distance. The country is investing emotionally in her career. That kind of support can transform one athlete's success story into an entire movement. More children may ask their parents for tennis rackets. More families may search for local training programs. More sponsors may begin looking at Philippine tennis as a serious opportunity. More young athletes may decide that representing their country on the world stage is not an impossible dream. One fan meet can't build an entire sports system overnight, but it can create momentum, and momentum is often where real change begins. A kid watching Alex at Glorietta might go home and start practicing against a wall. A parent might decide to enroll a daughter in tennis lessons. A local coach might suddenly have more students asking how they can follow the same path. Those small moments add up, and Alex's breakthrough gives them something powerful to build around. Alex, of course, still has a long road ahead. Professional tennis never slows down for very long. One great tournament can raise expectations overnight, and every opponent will arrive ready to test whether the breakthrough can continue. There will be tough draws, disappointing losses, physical challenges, and constant pressure to improve. But the reaction in Manila shows that her supporters aren't interested only in the easy moments. They followed the climb, and they're ready to stay with her with whatever comes next. So, did Alex Eala's Glorietta fan meet literally sell out in minutes? Not in the traditional ticket sales sense. The event had no standard public ticket inventory. But did access become incredibly difficult to secure? Absolutely. Did fans react as though one of the biggest sports stars in the country was coming home? No question. And did the excitement prove that Alex has moved beyond being simply a promising tennis player? Without a doubt. Before the first interview question, before the first interactive game, and before the first fan photo, Manila had already delivered its verdict. Alex Eala's rise had become a national story. Glorietta was preparing for more than a meet and greet. It was preparing for a celebration of history, sacrifice, and Filipino pride. The loudest message wasn't that every fan managed to get inside. It was that so many people desperately wanted to be there in the first place. That may be the biggest victory of all. Alex has made people care. She has made Filipino supporters believe that tennis can belong to them too. She has turned international matches into family viewing, ranking updates to breaking news, and a limited access mall event into one of the most talked about homecomings in Philippine sports. When she steps back onto the hard courts, Alex will carry more than a racket bag and a ranking beside her name. She'll carry the roar of a country that has decided this journey is personal. She'll carry the messages from fans who couldn't get inside Glorietta, the cheers from those fortunate enough to attend, and the expectations of young athletes who now see her as proof that someone from the Philippines can stand across the net from the world's best and refuse to back down. And if the reaction surrounding Glorietta is any indication, the Alex Eala story is only getting started.